Superman and Lois, Season 3, Episode 13, entitled What Kills You Only Makes You Stronger. This is the Season 3 finale. Lois and Clark have been waiting for Lex Luthor to make his next move. It's been 32 days since his release from prison. At the farm, Lois, Clark, and Sam talk about Luthor and the fact that he hasn't been seen or heard from since he was on the farm. Sam reassures Lois that Luthor would have to go through him and Superman to even get to Lois. Jonathan has volunteered to help Coach Gaines set up for the meteor shower in town. Clark presses Jordan on his summer plans, and Jordan says he has none. Clark tells him to find something to do. He also says he will not be helping his dad with saves anytime soon. Kyle and Chrissy are still together. As Kyle gives Chrissy breakfast in bed at his place, she runs into the bathroom because she is sick, and Kyle and Chrissy realize she is pregnant. John Henry Irons is over at Lana's checking out her security system, and he tells her he's been doing stuff at Argus. That's why she hasn't seen him lately. John Henry asks Lana to dinner or to go out for drinks sometime, and she agrees. Lois and Clark share their first intimate moment together since her double mastectomy. She is nervous, but Clark tells her not to be, and the two of them make love. The two of them return home and tell the boys they're going to be taking a family trip to Italy, and the boys get excited and agree to the trip. Kyle goes by Lana's house, and he nervously tells Lana and his daughters about Chrissy being pregnant. Sophie is excited that she is not the baby of the family anymore. Lana is happy for him and Chrissy. Sarah is excited as well. Sam stops by John Henry Irons' place and tells him the DoD wants more of his tech and that he would have to relocate to Metropolis. John tells Sam he will think about it, and Sam tells him he needs an answer by the end of the week. Coach Gaines is helping the people in downtown Smallville set up for the meteor shower viewing. Jonathan and Jordan are helping Coach Gaines with the setup. Jordan is setting up lights and Jonathan is setting up chairs. Lois and Clark stop by the Gazette to see Chrissy, and she tells them both she's pregnant, and they both get really excited and are very happy for her. As they are congratulating her, Clark picks up something with his super hearing. He tells Lois and Chrissy that Judge Reagan in Metropolis has been murdered. Lois and Clark go to Metropolis and are allowed to see the crime scene. Lois tells Clark that her murder was not Mannheim. It was Lex Luthor sending her a message. Lois realizes that Judge Reagan was the first person that Luthor has gone after because she is the one who sentenced him. Clark reassures her that he and Sam will protect Lois from Lex. Back in Smallville, Sam introduces the boys and Natalie to Gretchen, Sam's date, who he met on a dating app that Jordan helped him set up. Sam tells the boys and Natalie that they have been on a few dates. John Henry Irons and Lana are out on a date having drinks together. They both toast to a new history and new beginning. John Henry tells Lana about the job offer from Sam Lane, and Lana appreciates the honesty from John Henry. At the diner that evening, Lois, Clark, and the boys enjoy a meal together, and Jonathan tells them that John Henry Irons and Natalie might move to Metropolis and that Sam has a girlfriend. Gretchen turns on Sam, and she and Otis kidnap Sam and take him to Lex Luthor. Clark tells Jordan to stop being mean to Sarah, and he tells Jordan to go make things right with her. Jordan goes to pay out, and they both agree that they shouldn't be friends right now, but they both agree to just see each other around. John Henry Irons and Lana return to his place, and they both get into an intimate and passionate love-making session. Natalie finds Lois and Clark in town and tells them that Sam was supposed to meet her 20 minutes ago and never showed, and now he is not answering his text. Lois calls him, and Clark uses his super hearing to listen for him or his phone, and he hears it ringing. He uses his x-ray vision and sees Sam's phone laying on the ground in an alley. He tells Lois his phone is in an alley, and Lois says this is Luthor, and Clark goes to look for him. In Mannheim's underground bunker, Luthor is there, and one of his men is feeding the Bizarro Superman a cow for its meal. Bizarro Superman devours the cow. Otis and Gretchen show up and tell them they have successfully kidnapped Sam Lane. Otis hands Luthor Sam's ELT device, and Luthor tells them both that it's time to go kill the Man of Steel. 33 days ago, when Lex Luthor and Otis found Bizarro Superman, Otis was attacked by him, and he pulled off Otis's ear. Lex Luthor shot Bizarro Superman with some kind of laser plasma weapon, and each time he did, it looked like Bizarro Superman died but kept coming back to life and regenerating. Luthor and his men strung up the Bizarro Superman with chains and used all kinds of weapons on him, shooting him, stabbing him, cutting him with a chainsaw hundreds of times. They even drowned him. Each time they would do that, his body would mutate and morph into something far bigger, sinister, and meaner than Bizarro Superman. Back in Smallville, Coach Gaines gets the meteor shower viewing event started. Kyle interrupts the festivities and proposes to Chrissy in front of the entire town, and Lana and John Henry Irons watch on, and Lana is hurt by it. Superman is up in space above the planet listening for Sam, and he hears something and flies down to the farm in Smallville where Lex Luthor is driving up, and Superman lands right in front of his vehicle. Lex and Superman talk for a minute, then Lex uses Sam Lane's ELT and calls what he created to the farm. It lands and destroys the barn. Superman turns around to see a tall, monstrous-looking creature walking towards him, spikes all over his deformed body. Lex has turned Bizarro Superman into Doomsday. Doomsday grabs Superman and pounds him into the ground several times, then flies off with him. Lex walks back to his vehicle and says, "When you're done, bring me his heart." Superman and Doomsday land in the middle of town, and the townspeople scatter in fear. Superman tells his family to stay back. Doomsday starts to blow fire from his mouth, but Superman engages him and takes him high up into the sky. The battle rages in the night sky between both of them. Doomsday throws Superman into the waters of the Metropolis harbor, and the battle continues underwater. Superman uses his freeze breath and freezes Doomsday and pushes him out of the harbor and takes him into the sky. Just as Doomsday is trying to break out, Superman throws him on a pointed spire on top of one of Metropolis's skyscrapers. Superman flies over to see if the creature is dead. Superman flies down to the streets of Metropolis and tells people it's okay. Superman looks up and sees the creature moving on the spire, waking up. Doomsday removes himself off the spire and Superman flies up once again, but Doomsday flies back down towards him, pushing Superman back to the ground and crashes into the city's subway tunnels, thrashing Superman into the tracks. The battle rages in the subway tunnels as Superman is getting his ass kicked by the monster. Doomsday has Superman pinned with both of his huge fists and is beating Superman over and over again. The monster grabs an almost unconscious Superman and flies up to the streets with him, and the people see the horrifying sight of Superman in the clutches of this monster. Doomsday flies up to space with Superman. Superman wakes up in outer space and gets free of Doomsday and punches him multiple times, and Doomsday crashes into the moon. The battle continues on Earth's moon, and that is how Superman and Lois, Season 3, Episode 13, What Kills You Only Makes You Stronger, the season finale, ends. Wow, what a great, powerful, and emotional roller coaster of a season that was, and what an awesome episode this was. I would say this is the best season yet, and this is one of my favorite episodes. I tell you, this show only gets better with every season. I remember before the season started, I was watching an interview with Tyler Hoechlin about Season 3, and he said something like, "This season we're going to be up against a villain like no other, a ruthless monster." He was talking about Lois Lane having cancer, and boy, he wasn't kidding. Not only was the cancer a ruthless villain, but so were the human threats like Bruno Mannheim, his wife, Pia, and of course none other than Lex Luthor and Doomsday. We finally get to see Lex Luthor this season, and we see him being released from prison. One thing that I really loved this season was that even though Lois Lane was sick and battling cancer, she never lost her investigative reporter instinct. She still has that fiery, sassy, snappy attitude, and she is trying to expose Mannheim's past crimes and what he's doing now. What she doesn't know is he's trying to find a cure for Pia's cancer. I was really surprised to see that they brought back the Bizarro Superman this season. I remember when I first saw his body in Season 3, I was like, oh shit, what are they doing with Bizarro Superman's body? Jordan and Sarah start off the season strong as a couple, and I thought that Sarah, knowing that Jordan has powers and is Superman's son, would strengthen their relationship. However, as the season progressed, they started developing issues in their relationship, which ultimately resulted in them breaking up. A lot of it was Jordan's fault, but Sarah takes some of the blame as well. Plus, I think she started developing some feelings for George Dean Jr. Speaking of relationships, there were several times this season where it seemed like there was growing chemistry between Lana Lang and Sam Lang. Then other times it seemed like there was growing chemistry between Lana Lang and John Henry Irons. Turns out that Sam and Lana are just good friends. Lana and John Henry Irons' situation develops into a serious relationship, and it gets intimate in this final episode of season 3. And to be honest, I didn't mind that at all. I think they make a great couple, and Lana deserves to be happy after what Kyle did to her, but so does John Henry Irons after all he's been through as well. I was happy for Kyle and Chrissy and that they are in a serious relationship and now expecting a child together. Even though I hate Kyle, I'm happy for him and Chrissy. I just hope he doesn't treat Chrissy the way he treated Lana. As much as I hated to see Jordan Ellis leave, I really like the new actor Michael Bishop who plays Jonathan Kent in Superman and Lois. He brought some new things to the character which I really liked, plus he plays a more mature version of Jonathan than Jordan Ellis did. We really see a lot of growth in Jonathan this season, especially since he messed up last season when he took the fall for having the X-Kryptonite drugs. I knew once Lex Luthor returned, things were going to get interesting, and boy did they ever. First of all, I didn't think Bizarro Superman would be returning. Then after Pia Mannheim's death and Bruno gets a prison sentence, I wasn't sure if Bizarro Superman was still alive or if he was dead. But once Lex Luthor came into the picture, he is for sure alive. Though I did not expect for Lex to turn Bizarro Superman into Doomsday, I never saw that coming. But once it was revealed, I was like, oh shit, Superman is going to die at the end of this episode and this season. The writers sort of took a page out of Zack Snyder's playbook from the 2016 DCEU film Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I must say I liked this Doomsday better than the one in Batman v Superman. I didn't like the way when Doomsday would get injured or hurt and regenerate, that big blast of energy would blast out from Doomsday in Batman v Superman. I always hated that. The Doomsday in Superman and Lois would regenerate, but wouldn't do it with a big blast of energy like the one from the movie, and I appreciated that. I loved the fight between Superman and Doomsday. I mean, we have seen Superman up against some powerful villains who have given him hell, but Doomsday was really kicking his ass during this fight. It just sucks we have to wait until season 4 to see if Superman is going to survive this fight or if Doomsday will in fact kill the Man of Steel like he has done in the comics, TV, movies, animation, and more. Okay, that is all I have to say about this episode, so now it's grading time. I'm going to give Superman and Lois Season 3, Episode 13, What Kills You Only Makes You Stronger, the Season 3 finale, a very powerful A+. Here are my final thoughts. I cannot get enough of this show. I absolutely love it. The writing and the stories they tell, the acting, the visual and special effects, it's just so damn good, all of it. I didn't think there would ever be a show that would beat my all-time favorite TV show, which is Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think Superman and Lois is going to be the one that actually beats it. Which is okay because I'm more of a DC guy anyway than I am a Marvel guy. What sucks is that Season 4 has been delayed due to the writer's strike that recently ended, so Superman and Lois Season 4 is either going to start in late 2024 or possibly 2025. So we have to wait quite a while until we see what happens. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to say good night. God bless. I love all of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.